think the Black Museum is going to work toward doing is establishing a black curriculum in our Portland public schools that will have our successes, achievements, even our flaws and our down times and sad times as we live our lives. Because our children are missing out on those things. So we have to try to somehow get a black curriculum established in the Portland Public School District. We all are a part of this Black Museum, whether we think we are or not, due to the fact that it's in us, it's in our culture. So who are we to say that we aren't going to contribute to it? You might think that now, but in the long run, you are a part of it. Trust me. So anyway, I want to say a couple more things before I turn it back to the panel. Let me put my reading glasses on here for a minute. The Black Museum is a vehicle to restore the family hour at home. A lot of us need to organize our family trees and to go back and talk about a lot of family things. So we want people to do that. We want people also to send us at our email address, which is oregonblackmuseum@gmail.com, some of their information, if they were the first black person to be involved in something on a job, or the first of anything that is significant that you haven't gotten the recognition for, contact us at that email address. That's oregonblackmuseum@gmail.com, or else phone us at 503-388-2863 or 503-954-8675. I think the number will be up on the screen at the later part of the show, so if you didn't get it, you'll get it then. But we've done a few things, like Ms. Bowles has said, and we've came a long ways in this time. We've visited Juneteenth celebrations. We visited Good in the Hood. We visited the gatherings, passed out information and flyers. Even for this event, we passed this out for the audience to come here today, too. I want to share that with people, saying we're going to be here, come and show your support. So we've done that. We've sent out birth birth cards,
Death.
and get well cards and sympathy cards, like she said, death in the families. We're doing things like that to show you that we do love you and that we do care. So we've also participated at Department of Justice meetings here that was in Oregon, because we do have a justice committee that involves a lot of black people. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us are on paper where we really don't have no reason to be there in the first place. We can never overlook that in terms of our history. It keeps us from getting a house or apartment. It keeps us from getting a job, really. So let's just be real about it. But we've attended those justice meetings to try to still get some equality and to make our presence known. Let me just leave it at that. We've passed out flyers up on MLK and Shaver to wake the community up in this community here, and up on MLK and Ainsworth. We attended the Trayvon Martin rally for the gentleman that was murdered in Florida. We've passed out voters forms to help with the election this year, and President Obama's behind us here. And let me say shout out to the First Family too while I'm speaking, President and Michelle, Ms. Obama. So we just have to start giving respect where it's due. And the truth of the matter is, we have nothing to do here as a people. That's the vehicle of this Black Museum, to bring us together to achieve and accomplish something. So we do start to get more familiar with each other, respect each other, connect our past. We got some people that was in Vanport who I thought they would come. But Vanport has a history here too. It's not just me sitting up talking, Ms. Bowles, Ms. Assuman, Mr. White, or Ms. Johnson. We all have something to say and to bring to this. And I'm hoping and praying. This is God's quest. I'm hoping and praying that you really hear him talking to you, because our children do need to know the whole truth and the real truth about everything that black people have went through here in Oregon. Everything. So if they don't know where they're coming from, they really don't know where they're going or how to deal with the things that they're going to meet head on in the years to come. And I always mention, I'm going to give it up in just a minute, but let me say this. I always mention our unborn children. And the reason why I mention that is because we are now speaking for them. We're trying to make things better for them. The ones that are here now, the ones under 10 and 12, okay, they're our children too, even under 18 for all that matters. But basically for the ones that are on the way, we don't want them to have to go through the things that we went through. And we want to leave them not just a shrine, but a lifetime of memories and things to do, like Ms. Bowles on the Health Committee says, to live longer, to take better care of yourself. These kind of things is what the Black Museum is also about, not just pictures and artifacts. One last thing I want to say, speaking of families, I bought this shoe shine kit right here, and this is the way how black men used to make their living years ago, shining shoes. This belonged to my dad, and it could just be a human interest story, fine, but this here says to me, he worked for a living. He didn't sell drugs, he didn't sell alcohol. Yeah, when he was a kid, not a grown man, he shined shoes for a living then, you see? And he went on to be the first black on Painters Local number 10 here in Oregon executive board. You understand? So that told me then I know I need a job. And certainly, not to mention my background, but I was the very first crane operator out of a company called Columbia Steel years ago, the very first black. So if you're the first black that's done something, opened a business, or got something of significance, we want to hear from you, because this is important that we do put this in the museum. And like I said, this here's kit also tells a story in my family, how we shined our shoes before we went to church. And just some of everything that's in this kit. Actually, he met my mother at the train station, shining shoes. So I wasn't a twinkle in nobody's eye if it wouldn't have been for him out there that day with this kit, shining shoes to meet my mother. So it's a whole lot behind this shoe shine kit that will be in our museum one day. I just want to say, it's things like that that people have in their homes that do mean a lot. I don't want to see those things go to a dumpster. I don't want to see them thrown away, whether they're your wedding certificates, your degrees, your ribbons or banners or plaques or whatever it is. We need that. We need you to be in touch with us at the email address and the phone number to let us know where we can pick up items. One last thing before I turn it back. A gentleman came and met with us and gave us this information here that is a book on the first jazz people here in Oregon, on Williams and Russell. This is a book called Jumptown. He also shared with us these pictures of some of the, maybe you can put up on the monitor there, some of the blacks that was involved with that. And he gave us a lot of articles. Maybe we can't put them all up right now, but he gave us a lot of articles of items, news clippings, if you have those things. That's very important for us to get from you. And we're going to start to keep track of this stuff. We're going to start not just a library, we got to start some kind of order of things. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Ron Weber, he's our outreach worker, for donating this stuff to us, and we want to encourage other people to do the same. So now back to the panel.
Yes. Well, you know what? So, you know, my viewpoint about education, okay? You know, my young boys can go to college and they can, you know, they could get their bachelor, you know, degrees. Mm-hmm. But then you know, there's something is missing, and that is them, you know, trying to identify who they are. Right. You know, being a young African American, who are you? You know, what is your parents' or grandparents in the 1900s or the 1990s, 1900s or 1800s. Because most of our youth do not know that information back then that far. Um, some of our youth do not know how to go back and trace where their grandparents was born. Example, 1914. You know, you know, really, it seems like our history is fading out. And it's like being distracted over other things. But like I said, what most important with an education, with a degree of knowing who you are and standing up who you are and being respected of who you are. And elaborate on something?
Yes, I got something to say. I forgot my brother's name, Kenneth White. He worked at the shipyard for 6 or 7 years, and he appreciated all the work that he done, and I appreciate him for doing it. And now he's on disability, trying to fight the pain and work that he's had done. He's gonna be all right though, cause God bless it. Amen.
Well, I would just like to say is that I would love to see more black businesses open in our community. Now, it once was that we had black businesses open, but with the economy and things happening as the way they did, we have to go through, well, I'll just say a hard time now. It's hard to get a loan to even start anything. So, and you got to start at the root of that because that's what it's all about. You got to go through a lot of red tape to get a loan these days. And it wasn't like that back in the 70s and the 60s. People pulled together and helped one another to establish a business. Nowadays, it's not like that because of the economy. But we are, as a group, we're trying to get some history started here with the Black Museum. And I'm hoping with everything in us that we can do that. We need help with financial, our finances. And we are willing to do what it takes to get it started. Some fundraising, selling baked goods, pastries, and what have you. And during the summers, we will have car washes and what have you.
Absolutely.
I would just like to see some businesses raised up in our black community. And that's all I have to say right now. Robin, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I want to talk to the youth, because this is very important that you guys get involved with this because it's going to be your baby. You don't want to got to carry this museum
Absolutely.
on. And so it's important that you get involved, get the address. You guys know how to email. You guys know how to Facebook. You guys know how to do all this tectronic stuff. So we need you. We need you, and I can't say it enough. We need the youth to come in and pick up what we're trying to do because you guys got a whole lot of wisdom and we need it. And we get to understand you and you get to understand us on where we've been and where you guys want to go. And so on that note too, I'm a nurse assistant and and I became disabled, but that's here or there. The problem is, no one not gonna know what I did here in Portland, working at Providence and working into the CNA too, and then became a nurse assistant, and then I did all kind of odd jobs at nursing homes and met a lot of elder peoples and heard their stories. I have a lot in my head that they have told me about their lives. And so, I think it's important that we get talk to the youth will talk to the seniors and hear what they went through.